Hello everyone, it is me Jacob, today back again with yet another video. Today I wanted to talk about a very interesting topic. I wanted to talk about what it's been like living alone for a year. Now, I moved to Vienna in October 2018, which is exactly a year ago, and I felt like I wanted to make this video and just to share, how it's been and what are some things that I took from this experience. I'm going to try to touch upon some pros and cons, and just overall, be all over the place as usual with my thoughts and opinions on this. So, just to get it out of the way, I love living alone at the moment. I think it's great. It gives me such freedom and joy to be able to just come home and it's just me. Personally, I don't think it would be that much different if I, for instance, had a roommate, which brings me to the point that the biggest change, I'd say, did not come from actually living alone, as opposed to living with my two sisters, my brother, and my parents, but rather, that I am now living away from all of them. So it is a geographical thing mostly that was like the big factor at the beginning, like, wow, I'm not home anymore. I can't really expect, if I throw the dirty clothes away into a clothes bin, it's not going to come back all clean and nice. If I leave my fridge empty in the morning and come back after a long day, it's still going to be empty in the evening, which, has stung me more than a couple of times. So it is just, this big change that at the beginning, really took some getting used to. Not a lot though, and I feel like a lot of you who are watching this, who are just beginning, who just moved out and are beginning their life alone, let's call it that way, are going to find themselves really quickly actually loving this sense of responsibility that you have for yourself. For example, I like going shopping for food, let's say, and actually picking out stuff that I eat, picking out stuff that I don't eat. Like, I find my fridge is a lot more personalized, let's say, than it is at home. I'm buying stuff that I want and buying stuff that I like. Of course, tracking how much I'm spending and stuff like that, but that's not the point. I guess just that you do enjoy this sense of responsibility, although it may make your life a bit more difficult. You still enjoy actually having to do stuff yourself as opposed to having someone else do it for you. But yeah, it was a big change. As I said, I live with my two sisters, my brother, and my parents in a rather large apartment. So coming to a room, you can basically see my entire apartment behind me. I'm coming into a room like this, which is still, of course, very nice, and it is new, and it is on the top spectrum of what you can get in a student home. It was still something that I had to get used to, because what I realized is I don't even though at home I maybe wouldn't enter like my brother's room or my sister's room for a couple of days at a time, it was still like having this sense of space that you can go anywhere. It's just a bigger apartment, but again, I found myself used to this apartment quite quickly. I got used to it quite quickly, and right now I actually, after I come home for a weekend and I'm again in a bigger apartment, then I come here and it's just my own little four walls and my own piece. I enjoy it very, very much. But yeah, it does take some getting used to, coming to a smaller space. The chances are you're going to come to a smaller space when you move out. But it is more than enough. You find yourself not needing more space. It's just you. And when you think about it, how many rooms in the house are you actually using? You're maybe using the kitchen and your own room and maybe the bathroom. I have all of that pretty much here. So that's why I really don't have any problem with just living alone. Now, one thing that has been extremely beneficial when it comes to living alone is making videos. I can finally, pick up the camera and just boom, start making a video, which is something that I couldn't do at home. I had to, wait for my family to go or just tell them, shh, please, I'm making a video. So that has helped me a lot, and especially for someone, for the people who study at home, which for me is not the case. I like to go to the library to study just because I'm having trouble concentrating at home. But for those of you who actually can study home, living alone is probably going to be like the greatest step forward, because you're going to have your peace all the time. and you can just go ahead and study with no interruptions, which is great, because as I said, concentrating and constant interruptions are like my biggest enemy when it comes to studying. And it is why I don't like studying at home, because I constantly find myself drawn to snacks and drinks and stuff like that, and I just never, you know, really can like get 45 minutes to an hour of like solid focus on what I'm studying. So that is actually why I actually enjoy going to the library. But for you who are studying at home, I think living alone is going to be a great step forward. Now there are a couple of things that I find are worse when it comes to living alone and away from your family. And first things first is that when you are living with your family, you kind of have this constant social interaction without even knowing it. Like someone will come home and you're going to exchange a couple of words with them, or you know, you will just talk to your parents or your brothers or sisters, whatever. And then when I come here, I do not get that daily interaction. For example, it is like late afternoon right now as I'm recording this, and I haven't spoken a word with a living being today because I've been at home. I had to do some stuff. I had to, you know, make this video. I made lunch. I did so many different things, but I did not exchange another word with a living human being. Whereas home, I would for sure like talk to so many people right now, because it's always been hectic at home and there have always been people to talk to. So I kind of miss that, you know, spontaneous interaction with my family. Well, I think that concludes the video, guys. I just had some thoughts that I wanted to share with you. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Let me know what are your first impressions for those of you who have just started living alone, and for those who have been living alone for a while. I'd still like to hear your opinions and maybe some questions if you have any. Drop them down below or on Instagram as always. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Peace.